this must be the very first, or it is the very first online branch podcast. Mary Lane, Equity Honorary Life Member. What's going on right now in Equity and also sort of the arts?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, Caron. I'd like you to know, as well as being on the council as a variety councillor, I'm also a branch secretary and have been for the last 18 years to the West of England Variety Branch. I was originally on the working party for the development of the online branch, but I've always supported the idea of it. There was an awful lot of people who were concerned that it was going to overtake the physical branches. And I always said, and I continue to say, that it will work very happily alongside a physical branch. So this is really great for me to actually sort of have this opportunity and be your first pod.
Yay! The main reason why we're going to have this chat is arts funding cuts. Cuts we hear a lot about at the moment in the political arena, in sort of the business arena. But what specifically is happening in the arts at the moment, and how is that relating to you geographically?
Well, very recently there have been two areas in the southwest, one in Bath and one in Bristol. Bath, unfortunately, has, I think this was just last week now, they've had 100% cuts. Bath is a very historic city with an awful lot of historic theatres, performances, all sorts, rather like Bristol, who has also had an awful lot of nasty old cuts that were decided on Tuesday. And what was even worse than was originally proposed, which was 20% in 17 and 18, and then a further 20% after that. Our jolly old Tory mates on the council decided to put an amendment to that, and they said they wanted 100,000 cut happening now, and that's gone through, thank you very much. There was a massive protest outside the City Hall, as it's now called.
Yeah.
We weren't by ourselves. There was lots of other groups there, you know, and indirectly it's affecting every single person in Bristol. One of the Green councillors who was brave enough to come out during the course of the council meeting said it's going to cost every single citizen in Bristol £200 a head.
The thing that concerns me about these cuts is knowing the structure of funding for cultural institutions. They tend to be done in 3-year phases.
Yeah.
So this money that's being cut immediately from the budget,
Yes.
is this money that's already been awarded to them and is currently in their financial strategy?
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe it is. And I mean, I think that's where the horrified faces and the horrified expressions, you know, arose from. I mean, none of us could quite believe that it's one of the most controversial council meetings they've had in years. Whilst our protest, that is Equity's protest, was peaceful and sensible, there were groups there who were not so patient as us, and there were a few people who got injured. We're honoured enough to have the Bristol Old Vic as the theatre in Bristol, and they are currently having money donated to them to refurbish the building. Well, what's the point if they won't be able to afford to put productions on there? I mean, it's ridiculous. It just doesn't add up. You've got £2 that's given to us in funding, and we return £7 back.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I'd noticed from talking to other institutions is it's not just the council cutting money that is problematic, because most institutions get their money from multiple sources. But
Yes,
as soon as a council backs out, the
Yes.
ripple effect of other
Yes.
organisations reducing their funding starts to have a domino effect, and then that becomes really worrying.
The Bristol Old Vic has got a play that they're running, and it's a play about Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the lack of funding, they're having to go out of Bristol. They're actually going to London to rehearse it.
I mean, have you ever heard such craziness?
So what can we do as arts practitioners, as people working within the industry? We have a perspective that, of course, we don't want to see our lifeblood taken away. Audiences as well, they're going to have their entertainments taken away from them, or it's going to get reduced and reduced and reduced, or it'll start coming from sources that aren't collectively funded, so the art itself won't be quite as diverse. So what can the general public, the general audience of your local venue or an industry worker do?
I have a feeling that probably the best thing as a branch we could do, or 2 branches in Bristol, is get together and get a petition together and attend the theatres as people are going in, telling them what's going on and asking them to sign the petition as they're coming in and coming out. And I think if it's coming from the public, it's probably going to carry more weight than it would just coming from the entertainers themselves.
Yeah. By signing that petition, you are showing that venue that you are giving them their support. I think that's the thing. We often, with petitions, we're like, well, what are we signing? Where is it going to? But actually, by signing a petition, every single completed page of petition signatures is impetus for the venue to demonstrate that they actually have support.
Can I just say, I think the South West has been particularly unfortunate recently. There were 2 theatres that were closed in Barnstaple, right, which is also the South West. They were just closed suddenly. And thanks to a very large demonstration in Barnstaple, and that was members of the Devon and Cornwall General Branch who instigated that. They've managed to get some positive news out of that, but they've had a positive result. As far as Bristol is concerned, both of our branches, the General Branch and the Variety Branch, were there as one body. I must thank personally 3 members of staff who came down, and that is Wayne Bebb and Louise McMullen and Paul Fleming. All of them were absolutely solid in their support of the cause. They brought the banner down, they brought the placards down, they brought the flags down. You know, they walked with us and they stood with us throughout the whole demonstration. Moving forward, because I expect you'd like to know, where we go from here. We'd like to know where we go from here. But there has been a subcommittee formed. We can't give up just because it's gone and it's cut. We've got to change the attitude, and we've got to sow the seeds now. Things can change and we can balance this out, because it's always the arts that get the chop first. No, we're so undervalued. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
But the other thing is that all creatives, no matter whether you're graphics, arts, performance, entertainment, we are compelled to create, and we are exploited for that.
Exactly. That's absolutely right.
I was going to wrap this up quite soon. I want to try and give people an idea of where your activity is taking place.
We have the West of England Variety Branch, of which I'm the branch secretary, and we also have the Bristol and West General Branch. I'm their vice chair if they ever need me. And I'm very pleased to say that we do have a nice working relationship. So we're always sharing stuff socially on the social media side of things. We're always doing that.
General branches are actors, performance creatives to do with film, television, radio, and then there's the variety branches in Equity, which are the entertainment arts, club singers, comedians,
duos,
bands,
storytellers are in the middle. You can have a storyteller in a variety branch and also in a general branch.
But it is this year the year of variety, isn't it?
It's the year of variety. I'm so pleased that it's the year of variety. On May the 16th, we have a celebration at the London Palladium, where else? In the Parnell Bar, where Jimmy Cricket will be the guest speaker. And myself and the other 3 variety councillors are all invited to that, as are the VCEC. Oh my God, she says, what's VCEC? Variety, Circus and Entertainers Committee. It's one of the 4 new industrial committees within Equity. And VAF members, that's Variety Artists Federation, will also be invited to that. Part of the celebration of the Year of Variety is that Yvonne Joseph, along with Dan Shelton, are featured in this quarter's magazine, and they've done a huge amount of work, and the union has produced a lot of booklets on contracts about any particular question you could have associated with contracts at any time, because variety artists specifically and notoriously are very difficult to encourage to sign any paperwork whatsoever.
It's very hard when you're travelling with theatre companies. Is difficult enough when you're a group. But when you're at the mercy of just a nightly venue where you're in and you're out and you're moving on, it cannot be easy.
A variety artist is totally responsible for everything within their their performance. They have to do all their own marketing. They write all their own scripts. They do all their own publicity. They sort out all their own clothes. They sort out all their own tax. They do the whole thing. Nobody directs them or produces them or anything else. They do it themselves because that's how it's always happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that was an extra bonus because I hadn't anticipated us talking about variety, but I'm really pleased that you got that in. I'm going to move on now. So if you are an equity member and you've just listened to this far and you've got questions, please do put them in the comments. Do log on to the online branch. There's various places on the website where you can get in touch with me.